Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And welcome to it. Thanks for joining us here early in the week. Early in the day, early in the week. It's just plain early. But it won't be soon because time flies by so fast. It's unbelievable.
Is that how that works?
That's how it works.
Okay.
Yep. It'll be tomorrow before you even can blink an eye. So, an awful lot going on. As always, we're going to get to as much of it as we possibly can. But while we're still trying to figure out what exactly happened in D.C. between that Black Hawk helicopter and the American Airlines passenger jet last Wednesday, a plane crashed next to a mall in Philadelphia Friday night and just exploded, killed 7 people. Yeah. Really sad. It looked like a missile attack.
Exactly what it looked like. Yeah.
We can't play any of that footage because we don't have clearance. We don't want to get sued again.
No.
But hopefully you've seen it, or if you want to look at that guy, it's pretty disturbing.
A lot of Ring cameras. Cameras are everywhere.
Yeah. It's almost impossible to do anything without being surveilled now by somebody or something. So, but it does provide you with a glimpse of things that are just astonishing, and we don't know what happened here either, do we? I haven't heard it. If we do,
I've heard theories, but I have not heard definitively.
There's plenty of theories.
Medical flight.
Yeah, right.
Little girl, man.
Yeah, so
terrible.
sad.
I guess
Oh my gosh.
Flying back to Mexico from Philadelphia. I think she was done, right? I mean, she had healed.
Really?
And, yeah, it's just so terrible. 22
Hadn't
people
heard that part of it.
injured on the ground.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the thing went straight down.
Yeah.
Almost vertically. It looked like it was a nosedive.
Yeah, and again, this is just a theory from someone that shared with me. For it to do that and be exploded before it hit the ground like that, they thought, well, if it was a medical plane, could it have an oxygen tank on board that exploded?
Oh.
Again, we don't know.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, we do have some new details from the Wednesday night crash in D.C. The name of the third pilot has finally been released, and it's not the person everybody was speculating.
Correct.
There were big rumors. Turned out not to be true. This is why we should kind of hold off and wait for a while, because all kinds of things were going around about the third person. It was Captain Rebecca, is it Lobash? Is that how she pronounced Loback? But this young lady right here.
Now, is it confirmed, though, that she was on the staff of Joe Biden as an aide?
That's what I read over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Because she was at the ceremony, I know, back in December for the Medal of Honor or Medal of Freedom. Because there's a picture of her guiding Ralph Lauren. So, yeah.
All right. We didn't play the witness at the scene, though. Can we play that? The witness at the scene of the is this from the Philadelphia crash?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 small children. I was absolutely scared.
Yeah, pause this for a second, because this is to your point, Pat. I mean, there's cameras everywhere, and how many people were recording? I mean, there was a guy on fire. On the ground, someone's recording, and this guy is making the point, can we stop with the cameras and go and help people?
Yeah. And here's what he had to say.
And I've got 2 small children. I was absolutely scared. But I'm like, I need to find someone I can help. Because I cannot stand by and watch people just record. I can't do that. I don't record. I help. I don't care about social media.
Good for you.
I help so that I can save lives.
What did you do to help?
I gave the shirt off my back to help a young child with a head laceration. A piece actually went through a red pickup's window, hit the kid, and the parents were shouting, "Help us, help us, help us." No one was around to help at the time. Cops are just approaching. I took the shirt off my back, gave it to them, said, "Push this on his head, keep pressure." I ran back to my car. I got rags. I got anything I could find to absorb blood, push on cuts. My mom worked at a doctor's office. She was there. She was helping me. She's disabled. She doesn't walk fast. She was walking fast.
Yeah. Thanks to Fox 29 in Philadelphia for that interview. Interesting. Yeah. Had some interesting things to say there. And it's so true that people just want, they just want the video for their social media clip. It is sad and tragic. And we'd rather have, I guess, the views than render help for somebody. We just want to record it. It's amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
And then you were talking about the new details with the Black Hawk and the passenger jet.
Apparently it was 100, the helicopter was 100 feet higher than it should have been.
Yeah. So it was a tower. The tower data, I think, said that it was, I might get these backwards. One of the things said it was at 325 feet. One said it was at 200 feet. And so,
jeez.
I mean, I don't know. And then I know that so I think the tower must have had it at the right height because they warned the Black Hawk pilot
twice.
Yeah. Up to 2 minutes before.
Yeah. We heard last week about the one that was just a few seconds before, maybe 25 or 30 seconds before. But they got a warning 2 minutes before. They could have absolutely avoided this. And we don't really know why.
And if you recall that morning, Thursday morning, we surmised based on the transcript that Chris was reading how ambiguous, I guess, it could have been interpreted.
Yeah.
Hey, do you see that? You have a visual on that plane, Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's looking like the pilots were, yes, they had a visual, but not on the right plane. But again, that'll be determined. They've recovered, I think, the black boxes.
Yeah,
and so we're waiting to get them analyzed.
Yeah. We also learned that the tower, of course, the FAA employee was doing the job of two people because they sent one of the people home that should have been monitoring one of the aircraft,
right?
Either the plane or the helicopter. It shouldn't have been one person's job to do both.
We have not heard yet why that person was sent home, correct?
Not as far as I know.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
It is.
Like,
why would you do that?
Did you have a concert to get to, or did you have explosive diarrhea? I mean, seriously, we have to find out what the reasoning was behind that.
Is it cost cutting? Is it, who knows? Who knows? And if you'll recall, here was a Biden FAA nominee.
Yeah, we played this.
Philip Washington a few years back.
We played this at the time. This guy ended up withdrawing, thankfully. But this is the kind of a situation that the Trump administration is inheriting.
Yep.
So, Mr. Washington, can you quickly tell me what airspace requires an ADS-B transponder?
Not sure I can answer that question right now.
That's okay. We'll just keep going. So that's a pretty important part. So what are the 6 types of special use airspace that protect this national security that appear on FAA charts?
Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question.
Okay, so what are the operational limitations of a pilot flying under basic med?
Senator, I'm not a pilot, so...
no, but you're
obviously you'd oversee the Federal Aviation Administration. So any idea what those restrictions are under basic med?
Is there anything you know about aviation? Anything?
Well, some of the restrictions,
planes
I think,
have wings.
High blood pressure. Some of them would be...
You're hired.
It's more like how many passengers per airplane, how many pounds in different categories.
No, my bad.
What altitude.
He's guessing.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
This is me in high school on tests.
Yes.
Amount of knots. It's under 250 knots. So,
okay, can you give me multiple choice here?
Blood pressure. So, can you tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Spin or stall.
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot.
He's not a pilot. Okay.
Let's keep going. What are the 3 aircraft certifications the FAA requires as part of the manufacturing process?
I know. This is incredible.
3 aircraft certifications.
What I would say to that
I don't know anything about air travel, aviation,
implement that certification
planes,
and report.
You know the 3 types, Mr. Washington. The 3 types.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that's type certificate, production certificate, and airworthiness certificate.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just keep going.
My
See if we
tongue.
can
Just about to
get
say
lucky
that.
Here.
Get
Can
lucky
you tell me
here.
what the minimum separation distance is for landing and departing airliners during the daytime, Mr. Washington?
I don't want to
3
guess
feet?
on that.
He doesn't want to guess.
Are you familiar with the difference
5
between
inches?
Part 107 and Part 44809 when it comes to unmanned aerial standards? Unmanned aerial.
Again, so
Unmanned, like drones. Are you familiar with the
Yes,
difference?
yes.
Okay. You know the difference between those two, Part 44809 and Part 107? Do you know the difference there?
Sure.
No, I
Why
cannot.
don't you,
No,
why don't
no.
you tell me the difference between the two?
Wow. And again, this guy didn't get the job, thank goodness. But these are the types of people who have been nominated for and have been getting these positions under Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Can you imagine nominating a guy who knows nothing about aviation to be the head of the Federal Aviation Administration? Hello? Jeez.
Unacceptable.
Wow.
And dangerous.
Yes, very, very. And just as a reminder, from Stu's recent documentary, which is getting a little bit of attention right now, here's who the FAA was charged with hiring under the Biden administration.
Let's talk about air traffic control, because you actually have policy ideas to make this better. First, what's wrong with it?
Well, what's wrong with it is that they're utilizing identity politics as a supplement for, and in some cases even a complete substitute for qualifications-based hiring decisions.
In 2022, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg announced a new recruitment goal for the FAA. 3% of its workforce should be disabled. And not just any form of disabled, but, quote, individuals who suffer from total deafness in both ears, total blindness, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric disabilities, and dwarfism, end quote.
I can't. I mean, you couldn't write this script for a nation that's trying to destroy itself.
That is staggering. Absolutely staggering. Wow.
Yeah.
Of course, of those, though, is dwarfism really a detriment to you can be short, right? And still.
How do you see out the window?
I was going to say, you're in the tower. You're trying to look over the controls.
Yeah, that might be a problem, too.
All right. We don't have phone books anymore.
We don't.
To put in the chair for the dwarves.
Wow. Incredible. Why would you specify people with severe intellectual deficiencies can work here? Yeah, you don't even have to. You could have an IQ of 12 and you can work for the FAA. Congratulations. Yep. Paralysis, blindness.
Total.
Don't you have to see the...
No, come on.
the screens?
Listen to the
You don't
hate.
have to see the screens.
Listen to the hate. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
hearing.
sorry. So can you be deaf and blind?
Whoa.
And then not able to speak, too. So what they used to call dumb. Deaf, dumb, and blind. And you can still be an air traffic controller.
Absolutely. In
I
fact,
can't communicate with you, but I could give you hand signals
the
over the microphone.
supervisor that makes that hire actually gets a big fat bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah, I hired a person who can't see, hear, or speak. Wow! Congratulations! Can you get a whole control room full of them? I'm sure gonna try.
That's
wow.
what I've been charged with.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that was the Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden special there.
Yeah. And no wonder there were so many catastrophes as far as transportation are concerned under Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden.
And so many near misses. Stu talks about this in his documentary. And even if you're not a subscriber, it's on YouTube. Look for that. But it is 30 minutes of you just going, what is happening to this country?
It's almost impossible to believe.
Yes.
If that just popped up on the internet, I wouldn't believe it. I'd be like, okay, you're making that up. But incredible. Just incredible. You would think, all right, all the interviews they did there, those were all AI.
Hey, wait till you find out how long they've been trying to reform it. I know, since Reagan.
Jeez.
the computers.
Yeah, well, and we're using computers from the Reagan era. Have they advanced any since then? I haven't seen a computer in a really long time, so I'm not really sure. But
it's minor. You'd have to be
just
a tech
minor
nerd
changes
to really pick up on.
It's not that big
Vista.
a deal.
They're running Vista right now.
Okay. All right. I mean, are they up to Commodore 64s? Or have we gotten that far?
Oh, just about. I mean, because it's 1983 stuff.
Yeah, it is.
That is like, when was the Commodore?
That's about that time.
It's about that time.
Yeah. Really incredible. All right. Let's be honest. We're not getting any younger right now. If you want to look and feel your best, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They offer 45 premium health supplements designed to support every health goal you have. If you need more energy, you want to trim stubborn belly fat, you're struggling with blood sugar levels or low testosterone. Maybe you're dealing with swelling in your legs. Whatever your health concern is, Pure Health Research has a supplement for you. Each formula is made with natural, non-GMO ingredients, backed by clinical research, and manufactured right here in the United States of America. No junk, no fillers, just real effective solutions for your health. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is giving you an exclusive 50% off discount. So just go to Pure Health Research, purehealthresearch.com, all one word. Use the coupon code PAT at checkout, and you'll save that 50%. If you're worried about trying something new, don't be. Every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee, so there's zero risk and everything to gain. Why wait? Go to purehealthresearch.com right now. Explore their 45 amazing supplements and use the coupon code PAT to save 50%. This deal won't last forever, so start feeling your best today. purehealthresearch.com.
That gray is unleashed.
Oh, and by the way, the lovely representative from Dallas, Texas, Jasmine Crockett, tried to blame the Trump hiring freeze on the FAA shortages, which, first of all, no, he's been in office for a week, but also the hiring freeze did not apply to air traffic control tower employees. So nice try on that one, Miss Crockett.
It's incredible. It's incredible what they're trying to pin on Trump already. Whereas 4 years of Biden, that was still Trump's fault from before. And so, yeah, unbelievable. Also on Saturday, President Trump imposed tariffs of 25% on Canadian and Mexican products. 25%. And a 10% tariff on China.
This is interesting. Go into effect tomorrow.
Oof. I thought it kicked in on Saturday. No, it did not? Or did it? They were wondering if it was going to be February 1st or March 1st. And I think it already happened, right?
I mean, that's when the order was signed.
Yeah. But here's how Justin Trudeau responded.
Uh-oh.
The actions taken today by the White House split us apart instead of bringing us together.
Oh, no.
He's going to cry.
Tonight,
don't cry, bro.
I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods.
Okay.
This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives.
Wow.
Okay, so that sounds like some big numbers there, huh?
It does.
5% of U.S. imports come from Canada and Mexico. 5%. 75% of Canada's total imports come from the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Buckle up, Canada. Sorry.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Huh.
It's, I don't know, man. Oh, you got clip 24? Is Trump talking about the tariffs? Okay, cool.
All right.
Let's see.
Got 24.
Are you
Donald Trump.
planning to increase the tariffs against Canada?
Well, it could happen. If they do anything, we will. Canada's been very abusive of the United States for many years. They don't allow our banks. Did you know that? Canada does not allow banks to go in. If you think about it, that's pretty amazing. If we have a U.S. bank, they don't allow them to go in. Canada's been very tough on oil, on energy. They don't allow our farm products in, essentially. They don't allow a lot of things in, and we allow everything to come in. It's been a one-way street. We subsidize Canada by the tune of about $200 billion a year. And for what? What do we get out of it? We don't get anything out of it. I love the people of Canada. I disagree with the leadership of Canada. And something's going to happen there. But if they want to play the game, I don't mind. We can play the game all they want. Mexico, we've had very good talks with them. And this is retaliatory. This is retaliatory to a certain extent. Millions of people flowed into our country through Mexico and Canada. And we're not going to allow that.
Wow. So there's going to be a rough patch with this trade war.
He even said so.
Yeah. There's going to be some pain involved. Prices are going to go up. And I think he's acknowledging that now. Mm-hmm. They will go up. But will it help in the long run? Maybe. And we'll see. The problem is he's trying to level the playing field because we are free traders. We've always believed in free trade. They don't. So they tax all of our products while we don't tax the ones that are coming in. And, frankly, he's sick of it. I'm sick of it. This is an interesting way to go about it. We'll see if it works.
Yeah. And my only problem with this is that it appears on the surface, at least, to be in violation of the trade deal that he signed with Mexico and Canada. Yeah. It doesn't expire until July 1st, 2026. That being said, I did a live stream last night, and some people were chiming in that, and I looked into this. By the way, China is using Mexico, so China's backdooring here. China's taking advantage of all the stuff that they're putting in Mexico to skirt around, and that's why I think this 10% thing is almost Trump saying, "We see you, China," because they're taking advantage of the USMCA, and they're on our doorstep, and we haven't even talked about the Panama Canal. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Marco Rubio. So I think this is more, and this is just me surmising, this feels almost like he's going after China more than Canada and Mexico, and he's trying to get Canada and Mexico to stop playing footsie with China. Yeah.
Right. And until the crisis is alleviated, this is from the White House, we are implementing this 25% additional tariff on Canadian and Mexican products, and except for energy resources that come from Canada, because we get some oil from them. So that'll be a lower 10% tariff. Yeah. But
I wish he would say, if it is China, I wish he would just say that. I don't know that that's what his target is, but I read through, I skimmed through the USMCA. I didn't see anything in there about, secure your border. Again, if it's in there, I just missed it. But if that's a stipulation in there, then by all means, they're in violation of it. But I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see.
This will affect them more than us.
Oh, 100%.
Trade accounts for 67% of Canada's GDP. 73% of Mexico's GDP. And 37% of China's, whereas it accounts for 24% of ours.
And if other countries want to, push back in defense of Mexico and Canada, then we'll pull aid. We'll take some funds from NATO. You don't want to be messing with us, EU. It's nice to see American might used for a change, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And even if this is the only thing that I'm just a little bit hesitant on in the first 2 weeks of the Trump administration, Trump's worst action is always going to be better than Biden's best action or what Kamala's best action would have been.
And because the underlying reasoning behind it is he's focused on America first.
Yes.
That's the difference. It's America first. And, you give him a lot of leeway just because of that. One of Canada's big CEOs, the CEO of their second largest company, is kind of behind the Trump moves.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Shopify guy?
Yeah. Yeah, the Shopify guy. Yep.
Saw that.
He said Canada thrives when it works with America together. Win by helping America win. Trump believes that Canada has not held its side of the bargain. And they haven't. These are things that every Canadian wants its government to do, too. They are not crazy. This is from the CEO of Shopify.
I know.
These are not crazy demands, even if they came from an unpopular source. Right. Unpopular to Canadians, probably. These tariffs are going to be devastating to so many people's lives and small businesses. So it's interesting because he's admitting what Trump is telling us, that Canada has taken advantage of us forever. All of our trade partners have, really. And Canada protects their goods and services like crazy. But they don't want us to. It's interesting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's just an example of the way they protect their stuff. Canadian radio stations must devote at least 35% of their weekly content to Canadian artists. You know that? That's been the case forever.
No.
It's a higher percentage even now than it used to be.
What?
Yeah, they have
I had no idea.
If you are... if you broadcast in Canada on radio, 35% of your artists must be Canadian.
That's a lot of bare naked ladies.
That's a lot.
Bachman Turner Overdrive.
That's a lot of Bryan Adams. A lot of Anne Murray. A lot of Rush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
got some Alanis Morissette.
Yes,
we can get to that 35%. We can do this.
You can get there if you enjoy those few artists.
What a pathetic.
We can get there.
I hate government intervention.
Oh, man.
I just hate it.
And they intervene like very few governments on the planet. I don't know anybody else that has a restriction like that. Where 35% of your music has to come from Canadians, it has to either be fully written by a Canadian or fully performed by a Canadian. It's like, what?
Get out of my face.
Are you serious?
Oh, Celine Dion. You could throw some of that in there, right?
Yeah.
We can get there,
yeah,
Canada.
We can get there.
But that's so dumb.
It's incredible. But
no idea.
That's what Canada does. That's what they've always done. That's the kind of stuff we're dealing with here. And then when somebody says, hey, you know what? This isn't fair. You need to remove the tariffs from our products so that we can compete with you on a level playing field. Then they get all pissed off about it.
Michael Bublé.
Justin
Bieber.
Is Bieber Canadian?
Oh, yes.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, Joe just told me in my ear that Canadian Football League rosters, 21 out of 45 players have to be from Canada.
Well, that's why they suck.
No wonder your league sucks.
Right? That's why they suck.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Wow, this is...
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the whole football league would be dominated by Americans.
True.
So they want a few Canadians on the team. So, yeah. So there you go. But the Michael Bublé, that one I could go with. All right, I'll play him a couple of times a week. Sure.
And Justin Bieber.
And Bieber. Not so much, but some people would appreciate that, I'm sure. I'm just not one of them. Is it true that he's got some issues in his marriage going on right now?
He got issues every day, Pat.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
I feel bad for him. I think that he has seen things, and I think that he has been forced into things that has just destroyed him.
That have messed him up?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Diddy situation?
Yes.
Yeah. Who knows?
But if you're Justin Bieber, if the worst happened to you, you want to go public with that?
No. No. That'd be really hard.
Right.
Really, really hard.
It
would change the whole perception of you with people. And you don't want that. So, he may never say if there was something. All right, 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Much more to get to. And we'll do just that coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
got some tweets here. Jonathan Evans tweets, Chris would 100% forget to help Jeffy and Keith in a wreck in favor of filming their demise.
Wow. 100%.
100%?
Forget?
Yeah. 100%.
Or make the conscious decision to not help.
Yeah. I'll help.
Will you?
Yes.
By filming it.
My phone is on my hand as well. I got two hands. God give me two hands.
It's evidence. I gotta be able to share this later so that the investigators can figure out what happened with this.
Thank you. Thank you.
From the deplorable Mr. Jackwagon, of course you can hire blind people to be air traffic control operators. You just have to supply a Braille radar screen. It's right there in the ADA.
It's right there in the ADA.
New Green Deal for Trump tweets, FAA had a fair job, a job fair. They had a job fair at Emerald City, and the Munchkins were lined up for job interviews. I didn't realize that. That's interesting.
It's a fun fact.
All right. Well, I mean, dwarfism is one of the things, and I guess that would apply there, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we know how busy the Trump administration's been in the first 2 weeks here. They secured the release of American hostages from Venezuela.
Yeah. We got a picture of them on the plane there coming back.
Okay.
I believe we do. Well, if we don't, just imagine. There we go. How cool is that? You're not getting that with the Biden administration.
That's great. Well, we certainly didn't. How long were they
Boy, that's
held?
a good question.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. Can we at least talk about the people who have been taken hostage in foreign lands? Can we at least bring it up from time to time? I'll bet a lot of people didn't even know. I'd forgotten we had hostages in Venezuela. Incredible.
Yep. It just becomes background.
It's like,
if
whatever. Got to break out the Jackie specs here for this Trump post. This morning, I ordered precision military airstrikes on the senior ISIS attack planner and other terrorists he recruited and led in Somalia. These killers, who we found hiding in caves, threatened the United States and our allies. The strikes destroyed the caves they live in and killed many terrorists without in any way harming civilians. Our military has targeted this ISIS attack planner for years, but Biden and his cronies wouldn't act quickly enough to get the job done. I did. The message to ISIS and all others who would attack Americans is that we will find you and we will kill you.
Yeah.
All in caps. He screamed that part.
Yeah.
That's great.
That was a Donald Trump tweet. There's the attacks.
Wow.
Yep.
What a difference 2 weeks has made.
I know.
Is it? It's hard to believe. It seems too good to be true, and yet, in this case, it's actually happening.
Every day is Christmas.
It's so great, and such a big difference. He might actually save this country.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
if the Republicans don't stand in his way,
that's the thing.
He will save this country.
That's the thing. Yep.
So you saw the footage. Pretty impressive. When you bring the might of America to bear in an effective way, I mean, we can get some things done. We absolutely can. It's when we're screwing around and playing patty cake with these guys that, we get taken advantage of. It gets people killed. So thankfully, we've got Donald Trump in the White House now. So the T and the Q have been dropped from definitions when describing gays and lesbians.
Look at this.
What?
Put this up.
It's now just LGB.
Boom. Look at that.
As you can see right there.
It's from the State Department.
Okay.
We're no longer doing
LGB.
We're not. Period. We're done.
No trans.
No trans.
No queers.
No queer. It's just lesbian, gay, and bisexual. LGB. I mean, this is the kind of thing.
Oh, man.
You weren't going to get this kind of awesome sea change.
No, that's right.
If it was back-to-back terms.
That's for sure.
You have all of these people, as soon as January 20th hit, let's go.
Should be mentioned, it's not just one Q then, it's two. Because it's trans, queer, and questioning. Nice. Right? LGBTQIA2+.
What was the I?
Intersex.
Intersex.
Yeah, so that's been dropped,
Where's
obviously.
And the Two-Spirit.
The Two-Spirit.
Two-Spirit, gone.
And then the asexual.
And asexual, yeah. Okay.
I mean, just there's victories everywhere, man.
It's incredible. Seriously amazing.
And yesterday, Marco Rubio with the Panama Canal.
Yes.
Stopping China's influence there. I mean, they walked out of the meeting and the president of Panama was like, okay, we're done with China. Thanks.
Wow.
And this is, I
Wow.
mean, China, I was watching a thing where they run like 5 or 6 massive canals and ports. I mean, they're so smart. Around the world.
And we have Trump talking about the Panama Canal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
6.
Secretary of State Rubio is in Panama right now, and we're talking about the Panama Canal. What they've done is terrible. They violated the agreement. They're not allowed to violate the agreement. China's running the Panama Canal. That was not given to China. That was given to Panama foolishly.
Right.
But they violated the agreement, and we're going to take it back, or something very powerful is going to happen.
Wow.
I think Rubio must have made that clear.
He must have.
Because before Rubio even got there, Panama was like, oh, crap. Here comes America.
And that's interesting because at the very beginning they said, oh, that's ridiculous. China's not running this thing. China's got nothing to do with the Panama. What are you, China, what? And now it's like, okay, China's done. We're done with China.
Yeah, and China was in a position where they could close down the Panama Canal at will, just whenever they wanted to.
Which would be really bad.
Especially when you consider that 72% of the ships that pass through the Panama Canal are headed to America.
Wow.
That's of concern. And boy, in China, you talk about sowing our demise. They're making that road through the Darien Gap to make it easier for people to come up here illegally.
Right.
Bad things with China.
But are they building a transatlantic railway? No. We're the ones who are doing that. All right?
They already built that for us. Sorry.
That was a transcontinental.
Transcontinental, yes.
This is a transatlantic.
That's right. That's what the Biden plan was, right?
Yes.
My gosh, that would have been fun, right?
It would have been fun.
Choo-choo.
Sure would have taken a while and a little bit of money, but man, would it have been fun. Going back to 1800s technology, building it across the ocean. Yeah, that would have been great. Also, the southern border, of course, still a concern. Big concern. But here was DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. It feels so good to say that rather than the douchebags who were there.
Yeah, the impeached Mayorkas.
Yeah. Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, this is Kristi Noem, Saturday night at the Texas-Mexican border.
Hi, everybody. Just got to Texas. We're here at the Texas-Mexico border. Listen, since President Trump has been in the office, we've had a 93% decrease in border crossings. That means that President Trump has secured the border with his policies. We're going to be here and working with our Border Patrol agents tomorrow to see what the situation is. We're going to get to work and get all these bad guys out of here. A bunch of dirtbags, and we're going to put the American people first.
All right.
Good. Yep, I love
Obviously, that was late at night. She got down there, couldn't bother to comb her hair. You know, it's been a long day, been traveling. Then she cleaned up for Sunday morning when she went on the TV.
She looked pretty good there, though.
I'm not saying it was bad. I just mean her hair was all over the place.
But Sunday morning, she looked even better.
Yes, due process will be followed, and having facilities at Guantanamo Bay will be an asset to us, and the fact that we'll have the capacity to continue to do there what we've always done. We've always had a presence of illegal immigrants there that have been detained. We're just building out some capacity. So we appreciate the partnership of the DOD in getting that up to the level that it needs to get to in order to facilitate this repatriation of people back to their countries. So remember that Guantanamo Bay, clearly, by this president, has said that it will hold the worst of the worst, that we are going after those bad actors. This last week, I was in New York City. We were going after people that had warrants out for their arrest on murders and rapes, assaults, gun purchases, drug trafficking. In fact, we had a member of TDA that was one of the ringleaders that we picked up that week had been trying to buy grenades. These are the types of individuals that we are targeting. We're removing from from communities and that could end up having a stay at Guantanamo Bay before they are returned home to their countries to deal with.
Interesting.
Not our problem.
I know she said a lot of stuff, but I just want to point out that that's what we call a glow up on the internet.
A glow up?
A glow up. She went from, no makeup and not her hair. Look at that. So that's the before. And then the glow up is, holy cow. That's
See, okay, so there was something there, right?
There was.
That's funny.
Thank you, Joe, for that. I know that was pretty fast.
Well, it's been fascinating for me for the last 2 weeks since, it's been almost 2 weeks since she was confirmed, is the way the liberal media is treating her and calling her an ice princess or an ice, what is it? Is it ice princess they're using? And talking about her mascara and her makeup and the things she's wearing. When did that become okay? Because if this was anybody else they were talking about, that would be sexism.
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
it?
Yep.
Ice Barbie, that's what it is. Yes, Ice Barbie is what they keep calling her. And Nancy Mace and Tulsi Gabbard, they're all Ice Barbies now.
Of course.
And then they talk about the makeup they've applied. Well, what? When did that become okay for the left to be referencing things like that? Isn't that sexism? Are you not supposed to comment on the way they look?
Isn't that the same way they treated Melania during the first administration?
Oh, big time, yeah. That's
you're associated
true.
with the Republican Party.
That's
then
true.
You get the sexist treatment. If you're not, and that happens to you, then all of a sudden it's just an unforgivable sin. How could you even point out the looks of a woman?
I know, yeah. You're not supposed to just pay attention to what she's saying, not what she looks like.
And if that's the worst that they can do, I'm okay with it.
I will say, though, it's
Ice Barbie.
I know, yes.
If Ice Barbie the worst
Right.
you can do,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, yeah, we get it. She's
hot.
Beautiful. Yeah, we got it. So what do you think of what she just said? And when did Alejandro Mayorkas ever go to the border when they were cracking down on, well, they never cracked down, so he didn't go to the border when they were cracking down.
You only saw his goofy face and bald head when he was sitting in front of Congress lying through his teeth.
Yep, always in D.C.
Don't forget, that was the impeached Alejandro Mayorkas.
Very important to remember that.
The border is dynamic.
Wait, it's dynamic now?
That's right. That's
Okay.
good stuff.
All right.
What a punk. Don't miss him.
So also, I'll get to this in a second. First, let me tell you about Bank on Yourself. Are you being lied to? They tell you to save in a 401k or an IRA because you'll retire in a lower tax bracket. But if that were true, why are there so many retirees paying the highest taxes of their lives? It's time to get the truth and discover a better way to grow and protect your money. And that's Bank on Yourself. It's a proven retirement plan alternative that banks and Wall Street desperately hope you never hear about. But unfortunately for them, you're hearing about it right now. It gives you guaranteed predictable growth in retirement income. Your money doesn't go backward when the markets crash. Your principal and growth are locked in. So you get tax-free retirement income. Under current tax law, your retirement income will be 0%. That means no surprises, no surprise tax hikes, draining your savings. You've got total control of your money. You need cash for an emergency or some kind of opportunity. No government penalties, no restrictions. Just access it when you need it. And your money keeps growing like you've never touched it. It's built-in inflation protection. Your money is guaranteed to grow by a larger dollar amount every year in both good and bad times. It's been something like 160 years without a downturn in this. You deserve peace of mind, knowing exactly what your retirement savings will be worth. So get your free report right now at bankonyourself.com/unleashed. That's bankonyourself.com/unleashed. See if it's right for you. bankonyourself.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Also over the weekend, Florida Congressman Brian Mast chatted with Margaret Brennan.
She is a glutton for punishment. I mean, she already had it handed to her by J.D. Vance, and now Brian Mass puts her in. I mean, I love the line going around. What is it, Chris? I don't really care, Margaret. I think that's just kind of the answer now. That's for everybody.
I will make sure, certainly as the Foreign Affairs Chairman, that we give every single authority as we go through State Department reauthorization to make sure that this moves forward, as well as purging of people throughout the State Department, other agencies, where we're freezing aid. These are all very important and necessary steps to make sure that we secure America, and we're going to support that.
I'm sorry, can I follow up on what you just said there? You want to authorize purging of State Department personnel? What does that mean exactly?
Well, if you want to take a look at the State Department, where DEI has been a priority over, let's say, diplomacy in many accounts, I could give you hundreds of examples of where they were authorizing.
What proof do you have of that?
Sure, let's list them off. $500,000 to expand atheism in Nepal, $50,000 to do, a transgender opera in Colombia, $47,000 to do an LGBTQ trans comic book in Peru, $20,000 a pop to do drag shows in Ecuador. Shall I continue with more examples of where DEI was a priority?
It certainly seems like there could be a review of things.
No.
It certainly seems like there could be a review of things.
We just reviewed it. And we're putting a stop to it, all right? And the people who are responsible for it are going. They're leaving. We're giving them the heave-ho. Okay, Margaret?
And time is of the essence, Margaret. We're not going to sit there and comb through everything. No, we're doing this now. And we can bring it back if we need to.
Incredible.
But she is...
Wow. It's amazing how, they are just stunned at the boldness of the Trump administration right now.
Yeah. And on that point, if he's talking about all this aid, what we got rid of USAID last night. Elon Musk announced. Do you have a clip? I guess, Chris, you sent in a clip of Trump talking about
USAID.
25. Yeah.
All right.
USAID, or what's going on there?
Well, it's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, and then we'll make a decision.
Thank you.
Okay.
Got that, Margaret? We're getting them out.
And the website is shut down, and the Twitter account is shut down. The whole thing is shut down for the U.S.
So many websites, federal websites, have been shut down just in the last 2 weeks. Hundreds of web pages gone.
Well, Elon Musk said that USAID was so corrupt that it wasn't just an apple with a worm in it. It was a ball of worms. And so they had to throw it out and start over again. And that's what they're doing.
I love it.
Just incredible.
I love it.
So awesome. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
All right. I just received the shock of a lifetime.
I know, man.
Holy cow. Admittedly, I don't pay attention really to the NBA anymore. Okay. It's been a while. Mm-hmm. In fact, over the weekend, I just found out how bad the Utah Jazz are doing, a team I used to love and follow religiously. But then I'm hit with this morning.
I'm sorry.
The Dallas Mavericks traded Luka Dončić? What? Wow.
There's some memorial.
Why don't you just send the Cowboys to, Pocatello, Idaho?
Oh, no, the Cowboys, all the heat is off of them now.
No, for sure.
In the city of Dallas.
Oh, no question.
Absolutely. And yes, there was a funeral for...
There was.
Yeah, at the American Airlines Center yesterday.
Wow.
It was like a big, I call it trash, but it's like a bunch of his jerseys.
I know.
There's a letter going along from the Dallas people.
What a weird thing.
It was.
You're going to trade the franchise?
Stunning.
Why?
What? Absolutely stunning.
To the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's like the cherry on top of this suck.
So he's going to join LeBron James.
Yes.
But who do we get for him? I mean, like the rest of the Lakers, everybody but LeBron? Did they send us every single Los Angeles Laker to Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah. So
except
Anthony Davis, 2 players, and it was the first round pick isn't until 2029, Joe. Okay, that's
oh my Oh my gosh!
Come on,
are you kidding me?
It's truly shocking, and it's just
Anthony Davis and two other players.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean seriously,
told in my ear.
That's insanity.
I know, and
wow.
And now when you hear the phrase "they traded Luka," the he is off of the Atlanta Hawks, as you can see. They drafted him and then traded him 5 minutes later on draft night,
which was. In retrospect,
but they got more than the than the Mavs got. They got Trae Young in a first.
Wow!
I just so
that's really something. That's mind-boggling.
I mean, this is across the board being called the worst trade in NBA history. And like you, I don't follow the NBA very closely.
Yeah, but
this is seismic.
Yeah, it
is. And the letter that Luka wrote to the fans last night was so sad. I mean, he wanted to win. He wanted to stay here forever, win a championship. I don't know anything about this GM. I don't know. I just if Luka becomes a free agent,
he's butt stupid. I know that about the GM now.
His whole reasoning was defense wins championships, and this keeps us from having to have a rough, tumultuous summer of trying to re-sign him. Okay. Some guys you figure it out for.
Yeah.
And so when he becomes a free agent in a couple of months, then maybe Dallas should approach him. We'll pay you whatever you want. We got rid of the GM that fired you or that traded you. I'm just I feel bad for Mavs fans.
I do too. I do too. That's crazy.
And again, the Lakers really.
Yeah. Ugh. Like they need that.
Of all the places you want somebody you like to go. It's the last place.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. All right, back to real life. Hakeem Jeffries, House Minority Leader. He seems to be calling for violence here.
See what you think.
See what you think. Yeah. Here it is.
We are going to fight it. Legislatively, we are going to fight it in the courts.
What are you going to fight?
And we're going to fight it in the streets.
Whoa. Oh, wait, what?
Excuse me, what was that?
You're going to fight it in the streets? He's talking about the Trump agenda there?
Yeah.
Just in general, they're going to fight against him.
Huh.
In the streets?
You're not getting leeway if you're a Republican saying that.
Oh, that's for sure.
You might be in front of a judge if you're a Republican saying that.
You imagine. Just that double standard is just so agonizing.
Sure is.
Meanwhile, the Democrat Party was electing new leadership on Saturday. This is fun.
They need it.
For all of those running for DNC chair, they were asked a question.
Okay.
In this round, so I'm going to, I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat?
All of them.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
That's good. You all pass.
You all pass. He means it, too.
He does.
Because if you don't raise your hand, then you're kicked out. I fully believe that.
Pathetic. Jeez. Here were the Democrats explaining how to vote for DNC chair and how issues of gender were involved.
We're finding out ways to expedite this. Because of our gender balance provisions on this next ballot, you will be able to vote for 2 candidates of any gender on the next ballot.
Are you sure about that?
Okay. So on this next ballot, you will be able to vote for 2 candidates of any gender on the next ballot. If 2 candidates receive, I'm going to turn to Helen to clarify this last part.
What a joke.
You are in this next ballot where you have 2 votes.
2 votes.
As the chair has said, you may vote for 2 males, 2 females.
Define it.
2 of any gender. Okay? Nope, you can't do that.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
Because we've got to balance. You could vote for 1 of any gender.
Okay, so it has to be 1 of them.
Or no, non-binary gender, excuse me.
Hold on.
It is late. Okay?
What?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
So, wait, what?
I don't know.
So, can they vote for 2 males and 2 females?
Yes.
Or can they vote for 2 non-binary people?
Yes.
Or
Yes, they don't even know.
They don't know,
rules.
right?
They're
they didn't even know.
Their
you have to
rules
vote for
so
1
absurd.
and 1. plus of non-binary?
I think that's what it is, yes.
This party is so far afield. They're so screwed up. They're mentally ill, and they prove it every single day. And look at how this went.
It's as simple as that, Pat. They're mentally
ill. They are sick in the head, and I don't know that there's any fixing the Democrat Party. They've gotten so bizarre, so weird, so nonsensical that it's beyond hope.
And the best thing about that video is like even the chair was confused.
Yeah, they didn't even know.
Neither of them.
Neither of them knew. He's like, I don't get this. So you come up and explain
Margaret,
it. And
get up
she
here.
can't either. So here is the guy they eventually elected as chair. This is Ken Martin from a couple of weeks ago.
There are a lot of good billionaires out there that have been with Democrats who share our values, and we will take their money, but we're not taking money from those bad billionaires.
There you go.
Okay, that's great. So you're a good billionaire if you're a Democrat douchebag. You're a bad Democrat if you're a right-thinking Republican. Or a bad billionaire if you're a right-thinking Republican. All right. And here was part of a speech from a guy who ran for DNC vice chair. See if you recognize this one.
Oh, no.
Are you ready to go on the offense? Are you ready to go on the offense? We have to win back our young people. I am the only candidate in this race for any of these positions that is under 30. We had a 20-point shift to the right of our young people. We must show our young people we give a damn about them, that we support them, and we invest in them. I have raised over $11 million in the past year to support the future of our party, because I don't just tweet, I don't just talk the talk, I also walk the walk and I knock the knock in doors across the country. But I'm counting on you in this moment right now. I need your support. Please vote for me. Thank you so much.
He knocks the knock, Pat.
So he talks the talk, walks the walk, and knocks the knock.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody took my David Hogg, Boss Hogg pillow here that Rowdy Introvert made.
Oh, no.
And I'm needing that right now.
Wow.
What in the world? By the way, can I just give a shout out to the black dude back there?
Yeah.
Nice
What,
hair.
1972?
Right.
Did he just join us from 1972?
I love that dude,
Yeah,
bro.
that's great. That's great.
But David Hogg, there he is.
There he is.
So they had a chance. They had a chance to make him one of their vice chairs.
And
let's see how the vote went.
The votes were tallied.
Yes.
And here's the big announcement for vice chair.
The number of votes necessary to receive a majority, 205.
Okay.
The final tally of votes, Malcolm Kenyatta, 298.
All right. Malcolm, what? Wait, and hold on. There was much more to this clip.
What happened?
It was a very long clip, like a minute long. Oh, wow.
That's all we have?
That's all we have, I guess.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so guess who else made it? David Hogg, yay!
How many did he have?
I don't know. Don't.
We don't know because the clip was cut off too soon.
So there you go.
All right.
By the way, that outgoing
But
chair,
he is a vice chair,
he's a vice
right?
chair. He sure is.
Along with the other guy, so they have more than one vice
They
chair?
have two, I think, vice chairs, yeah. But that guy is the outgoing chair, Jamie Harrison. He says that Kamala Harris could definitely win in 2028.
Oh, my gosh.
If she runs again.
Ooh-wee.
So,
you
go for it. Go.
Good.
Please go for it.
Yes, I love it. I love the fact that they're not learning anything.
No, they're not.
From the bloodbath they just took.
I know.
Hogg got 214.5 votes.
How do you get 0.5 of a vote?
What's that all about?
That's pretty weird.
That's stupid. How does that happen?
I don't know.
You can break up your vote? I thought you have to vote for two people, they just said. Of course, it's Democrats. They don't follow their own rules.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's for sure. Wow.
Good stuff.
Yeah. The Democrats. Keep it going. Keep not learning anything. Just keep getting more and more radical, swinging further and further to the left. Let's see how that works out for you in the United States of America. If you lived in the Soviet Union, circa, 68, 70, 72, somewhere in there, it might work out really well for you, but you don't. So keep it going.
Keep it going.
Good luck. The nomination of Kash Patel for FBI, Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Security, and Robert Kennedy Jr. for Health and Human Services. They face committee votes this week.
I'm worried about the Kennedy one because I don't trust Bill Cassidy because he's a doctor and he loves vaccines and he could vote the other way.
Yeah.
Good. Come on.
Here was one especially memorable moment from last week when Maryland Senator Angela Alsobrooks, is that her name?
Sure.
Or is that just a misprint on my little sheet?
That's her name.
Angela Alsobrooks.
Here, hold on a second. Let me show you this. Hold on, because I know I can hear the doubt.
There is some.
Because I'm gonna play the role of Rush Limbaugh here for just a moment.
Senator Alsobrooks.
Don't doubt me.
From Maryland. There she is. Okay. Anyway, she was questioning RFK Jr.
You said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours."
Pause that. Yeah, that's a very provocative statement. And I'm really curious. I saw that. I'm like, I want to hear this answer. This is going to be interesting. So let's see what RFK says about this.
System is better than ours. Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received? What different vaccine schedule should I have received?
I mean, the Poland article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens than...
This is so dangerous.
So you get the same measles vaccine.
Mr. Kennedy, with all due respect, that is so dangerous.
Why?
Your voice would be a voice that parents would listen to. That is so dangerus. I will be voting against your nomination because your views are dangerous to our state and to our country.
Wow. So if it's true,
right?
And I don't know. I'm not an antigen specialist.
No.
A lot of people think I am. A lot of people turn to me.
How are you
for antigen
without being
information?
Antigen
I don't know. I don't know how I was. I guess it was some mistake. I just fell through the cracks.
Sure did. You need that to broadcast.
I remember that interview question when we sat down.
Are
to work
you
here.
or are you not an antigen specialist, Mr. Gray?
But think of this.
I'm not, and somehow I got through anyway.
I sincerely wanted to hear that answer.
Yeah, I did too. I did too, and she just shut him down.
She just wanted the opportunity to say, "That's dangerous. You're racist."
Right.
And that's all she wanted was that.
Yeah.
That's what they
But what
all
if it's
wanted.
true? What if it's true? And I don't know. It might be.
You'll never know.
And if it is true, do you need to get the same schedule as white people or Hispanics? Apparently not.
Yeah.
If you don't need it, you don't want to get the same schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe we should look into things, you know?
Yep. So if you're listening right now and you're black, then good luck. You got to go find the Polish study on your own because Senator Alsobrooks doesn't want you to hear the truth, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Just, I mean, that's
unreal.
Every one of these hearings has been like that.
Yeah, it's just pathetic. All they're there to do is make the nominee look bad. It's all they want to do. So, congratulations, Senator Alsobrooks. Jeez. You ever heard of Senator Alsobrooks
I think she's new.
before?
I think she's new.
She must be brand new. Yeah, she must have just been elected.
Senator what? Senator Whitehouse?
Yeah, White House and
he's been there
Alsobrooks.
for a while.
Yeah. What? It should be like senator, because he's not in the White House. So, or Senator.
Senate?
You said it. Yeah, Senator Senate.
Imagine if he runs for president. It's President Whitehouse.
Oh, that'd be so confusing.
That would be some weird stuff.
Right?
So you know it's going to happen. All right, let's tackle the age-old question, what do I get her for Valentine's Day? You don't have to stress at all because I have the answer. Just send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and just wow your Valentine. And get 25% off while you do it. 25% off your entire purchase And Bouqs makes it really simple. With the click of a button, get their best-selling bouquet right on time for Valentine's Day. It's called the Quickie, and she'll brag about it for weeks. Or you could pick from their collection of unique modern designs or go for their flower subscription, the #1 husband life hack, and be the hero every single month. You did this last year, right, Chris?
Sure did.
You got the year subscription? So flowers show up every month. That's really cool. You can go that way, or they've got so many different options for you. Get bigger, brighter blooms that last longer. Some are even grown on the sides of volcanoes. She'll be blown away by how stunning these are. Valentine's Day, February 14th, as usual, right after the big game. So don't fumble this. Get your order in right now. Go to Bouqs.com, use my promo code PAT, and get 25% off. That's BOUQS, as in bouquet. Bouqs.com, promo code PAT.
Pat Gray. Join the conversation. 888-900-3393. Pat Gray Unleashed. We'll be right back.
Does anybody give one rat's anus about the Grammys?
No.
I don't know.
I didn't recognize any of the names.
Just in case you do, Beyonce won the album of the year.
That's the one.
Sabrina Carpenter, like you predicted, won too.
Oh, of course.
That's cool.
Yeah. What'd she win for?
I don't know.
Yeah, something. Yeah. My youngest daughter's a big Sabrina Carpenter fan. Big fan. Like a sort of a. Almost to the point of Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yeah. She's almost like Swiftie level for Sabrina Carpenter. All right. So there's that. And then there was some weird little event at the Grammys last night.
Yeah,
Kanye's wife took off her coat and apparently...
She was wearing clothes.
She was wearing clothes, but they were completely transparent.
Yes,
see-through.
it was too thin to...
completely. It's like...
You could see everything.
Whoa.
You remember,
Whoa.
Yeah, you remember the J-Lo outfit from about 20 years ago? All right.
That was
looks,
controversial.
That looks like a burqa compared to what
she was
wearing last night.
That's very true. A really weird. Man, oh man.
Yep.
Really weird. All right. So we've got Steve Friend, FBI whistleblower, coming up here in a few minutes to talk about what's going on at the FBI. But the FBI was doing some painting over some walls over the weekend.
Yeah.
And here's...
Put the picture up, please.
Oh, yeah. Here's
we got the picture of inside. There we go. Look at that. Fairness, compassion, diversity.
Look at this. And we're just painting over it because, okay, we don't need this. All right? It's the FBI. We're a law enforcement agency.
Thank you.
Okay? We're not a DEI agency.
Thank you.
Oh,
Good
man.
stuff.
But here's Jen Psaki.
Oh, no.
Talking about the FBI purge.
Uh-oh.
As I noted right before the break, on another piece of breaking news tonight here in the nation's capital, where the Trump administration has conducted an unprecedented purge at the top levels of the FBI. Unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
Administration officials have
Say it
forced
one
out
more time.
all
It's
6 of the
unprecedented.
FBI's most senior executives and multiple heads of various FBI field offices across the country, according to current and former FBI officials who spoke with NBC News.
Okay.
This is hostile takeover of federal law enforcement. There's no other way to call it.
Elections have consequences.
Included the high-profile leader of the Washington, D.C. field office, which was involved in the prosecutions of President Donald Trump. The Department of Justice also fired multiple federal prosecutors who conducted the criminal investigation of January 6 rioters, according to sources.
Good.
Just to take a moment, a step back, and I know there's a lot of news you are consuming right now. But these are officials. These are not political officials. These are career law enforcement officials.
Really?
Most of whom, all
How
of whom
dumb
have
do you
worked
think we are,
under
Jen?
multiple Democratic and Republican administrations. They are not political appointees. Many do not even work in the FBI's Washington headquarters.
Pause it. They're certainly acting like it. If they weren't specifically put in place as a political appointment, they have certainly conducted themselves as if they were. We all know that. We know the FBI has been incredibly partisan the last 4 years. There's just no getting around that. All right, let her go. Jeez.
Many do not even work in the FBI's Washington headquarters.
So?
Like Spencer Evans. He's a special agent in charge of the Bureau's Las Vegas field office.
Okay.
In a note obtained by NBC News, Evans writes, I was informed by FBI headquarters today that the executive leadership at the Department of Justice plans to dismiss me from the roles of the FBI.
How dare
along with
they?
several other FBI executives
no.
as soon as Monday morning.
Pause it.
I was given.
Could that have anything to do with the shooting in Vegas that you still haven't figured out anything about it? Could that be, I don't know, some of what happened there? Yes, that happened during Trump's first term, but we're down the road 8 years now, and we still don't know a stinking thing about what happened there. All right, let her go.
I was given no rationale for this decision, which, as you might imagine, has come as a shock. These firings are potentially devastating to the nation's ability to fight terrorism and corruption, investigate crime across the country. That's what the FBI does. But they are also not just about law enforcement officials in Washington. They're no doubt going to have an impact on the local communities.
Now they're rounding up
as well. We're going to be learning more about that
from school board meetings
ahead. And it's leaving a lot of these local FBI.
I can't listen to her anymore.
You can't take this?
They're rounding up parents from school board meetings. They're chasing down people who milled and paraded at the Capitol building. They're arresting people who pray outside abortion clinics. That's not what the FBI should be doing. It's pathetic what the FBI has become, and Trump is doing something about it. And the amazing thing is Kash Patel's not even there yet. So you might assume this is just the beginning.
I love it.
It's so great. So great. It's really hard to believe. Again, it's so much has happened in 2 weeks. Today is the 2-week mark. It's amazing.
We get 208 of these weeks. We're 2 weeks in.
And you're right. This would not have happened if he had consecutive terms, because he's had 4 years to stew on this and plan for it. And it's working out really well.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Triple 8-933-93. We're joined by FBI whistleblower Steve Friend, host of American Radicals podcast, the author of the book True Blue: My Journey from Beat Cop to Suspended FBI Whistleblower. Steve Friend joins us. Steve, welcome.
Hello. No audio, guys.
Oh boy.
There we are.
No.
There
you are. There you are.
Good morning, gents. How are you doing this fine?
We're doing good. So Friday was the last day for a lot of FBI employees, and you were getting some very interesting information on what was going on inside the FBI with this big purge that the left is going crazy over. What did you hear?
This was actually over 2 days, Thursday and Friday. It sort of was a execute Order 66 that went out during Kash Patel's hearing in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. The acting deputy attorney general, I believe, was at the top of the decision. And they put out the word that senior executives across the FBI, ranging from the Las Vegas field office to the Miami, Los Angeles, Washington field office, that they had to be escorted out. They basically were forced to resign. And then that carried forward into Friday, when there was an assessment done on the particular case agents, or the people who were involved the most in things like the classified documents investigation into Donald Trump and Crossfire Hurricane. And then actually the one hiccup in the plan was, I believe, that they didn't listen to Steve Friend's whistleblowing disclosures enough to realize that it was like 6,000 agents involved in January 6th. They thought it was probably limited to a small number. Cool. So now there's an order over the weekend that everyone who participated in January 6th has to fill out a survey by 3 p.m. today saying exactly what they did so they can be held accountable.
So there's going to be an awful lot more that are let go, right? It sounds like.
That's, I believe, what the expectation is here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple. You have an oath of office. You're supposed to not let politics get in the way of that. Your prime directive is to follow process and not really be outcome seeking. And there's nothing more clear than weaponization that we saw with the classified documents, where they executed a full search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, or even the January 6th, where we had mostly non-violent, at worst, some sort of a trespass. And we ran these people through the ringer for 4 years in order to hit our domestic terrorism quotas and get bonuses.
Wow. Why? I mean, the left is making a really big deal out of the fact that so many were let go and so many were escorted out of the building. Why on both of those issues? Why were there so many let go, and why did they have to escort them out of the building? Is that just common practice?
Well, once you have been given some sort of revocation of your security clearance or disciplinary action, you have to be escorted. You're not allowed in the facility anymore. So that's kind of a common practice.
Okay.
But from what I understood, there was a lot of physical resistance to being removed from duty, including the people.
I want video, man. I want video from inside there.
Yeah.
I mean, the rumor intelligence was swirling greatly over the weekend. From what I understood, maybe some SWAT team members had to be required to remove some of the agents at this point.
Jeez.
And now, from what I'm hearing, there is a planned protest at the Hoover building at some point today, to which I don't know if it's going to look more like the Patriot Front guys with the neck gaiters and the high knees, or Ray Epps standing out in front saying, "We're going to walk out of the Hoover building."
Boy, I can't wait to see what happens there today.
Yeah. What do you suspect, Steve, is next at the FBI?
Well, hopefully there's going to be Kash Patel voted through the Judiciary Committee and then get the full confirmation from the Senate so he can get in there as quickly as possible. Now, look, they have cleared the field for him before he even gets there. There's no sort of accountability for him. He didn't make these decisions. But executive assistant director is like the fourth highest rating, and it goes director, deputy director, associate deputy director, and then you have 6 EADs. So fourth in line in the chain of command. Those positions all need to be filled. He can completely remake the way the leadership structure works in the FBI, which is 100% wholly broken. It is completely occupied by people who only are capable of promoting within a construct that they self-select for, people who are inexperienced and frankly uninterested in the actual things that they have responsibility for. You can look at the resumes for just about every single person in a position of leadership or management in the FBI, and invariably they will have 5 years of actual experience, and then they've promoted on. And it's just led to this revolving door, because what you wind up getting are people in a bureaucracy who are only interested in promoting. They have to do it every 18 months, and they are overseeing things they have no subject matter expertise in. And how do you promote? Well, you invent solutions to problems and then look for the problems to apply them to, or you get your bona fides by just firing people. So they have to look for people who are problematic, people who are willing to say, look, I'm not just going to follow orders.
We're talking with FBI whistleblower Steve Friend. Steve, is it possible that this is too much too quickly? Can the FBI still function with as many firings as are going on there? Can they still do their law enforcement job?
Absolutely, because for the most part, most FBI agents are not really that engaged in casework. I mean, over half the agents do not work criminal violations. They're sitting at a desk in a cubicle, and even those that do work criminal violations still sit at a desk, wait for local law enforcement to arrest someone, and then they just take the file Office Space style over to the federal prosecutor. They can enhance their abilities if they're really worried about personnel. They can bring in task force officers, local police, sheriff's officers, and deputize them. And those are the guys that are experienced detectives and know actually how to carry forward investigations. They already exist. They can just enhance that capability. But I think that the slugs here are going to be put for a decision for all their chips. And that was really the genius of these moves on Thursday and Friday of last week. It was the last weekend for these people to decide whether or not they want to opt in to the deferred resignation that was put forth government-wide by the Trump administration.
Wow. Jeez.
Boy, you had to make some life-altering decisions real fast.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you talk about, Steve, the 6,000 or so FBI agents assigned to January 6th, we're going to talk about an obsession. And now it totally makes sense when Christopher Wray says this has been the largest law enforcement operation in the history of the FBI. Well, no, it was an obsession, bro. I mean, that is... there's so much stink in that building. Just scrub it down.
It was a case management decision that was made. They took one case and opened a separate case for every single person. So you took one case and made it into thousands of cases. And then even though the incident happened in D.C., whoever the person lived, that office on paper was managing a terrorism case. So now we have a map that looks like domestic terrorism around the country, and it's really people that stood outside on the grass at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And by the way, since I've got you here, I've repeated the fact that you have told me on my live stream multiple times, and I just want people to hear this from you. Please, while we have you here, what is that stat about domestic terrorism involvement in the FBI? Please hit us with this. This is stunning.
The FBI playbook of finding a vulnerable person and provoking that person into doing their worst things that they are not predisposed or capable of doing. So essentially entrapment. You're guilty until proven innocent in the eyes of the Department of Justice, and they make no secret about it. It's in excess of 90% of FBI convictions and sentencings on domestic terrorism. The person was not predisposed or capable of actually committing a terrorist attack.
Completely instigated by your federal government.
Well, we've seen that, like in the case of Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan, right?
One of them.
Did that not come from the FBI?
It absolutely did. And look, it goes on all sides. I mean, the Muslim community in this country is about 25 years ahead of the curve on this one. Yeah. The Liberty City 7 is still the FBI's greatest al-Qaeda arrest. 7 guys, not one was actually affiliated with al-Qaeda.
Oh, my gosh.
It's stunning. I mean, they instigate all domestic terrorism. Over 90% of all domestic terrorism instigated by your FBI. Unbelievable, man.
Steve, would you go back if the FBI asked you to at this point?
Look, if Kash Patel were to call me up and ask me to assist, I think that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually help bring the agency back from the brink. My problem is if I was offered a position just to go back and work on child pornography cases, there's a whole bunch of evidence where I've stood out here and said the FBI should probably go away, and it might hurt my ability to testify at trial. So a defense attorney could say, you've advocated for ending your own job. Why have you brought charges here? So I'm a little bit between a rock and a hard place on that one. But for the opportunity to clean up things like the abuse of Section 702 or the intelligence space or the mission creep and entrapments that have gone on, and the ability to advise and provide that information up the chain of command, I think is probably unique. And I probably have to consider doing that if the phone rings. I am, after all, unemployable for 29 months.
Oh, God.
Jeez. Wow. Paid or unpaid?
Unpaid.
Unpaid. God, that's unbelievable.
All because he stood up and told the truth about his government.
That's despicable. It really is.
So Jen Psaki and all of those on the left can save their tears for those that were purged on Thursday and Friday in the FBI, because when whistleblowers like Steve and so many other good men and women came forward, their lives have been ruined by this government, this Biden administration. So save it.
So do you fully expect Kash Patel will be confirmed as FBI director?
I think he will. I think the Republicans being in the committee saying that he had their support so publicly, I don't think that they would put that out there if they didn't feel like they'd whip the votes. And to me, I mean, the moment where he told Amy Klobuchar, where she asked for 5 hours and he said, you have 2 minutes, I think spoke to his confidence about getting that confirmation. He is eminently qualified, prosecutor and defense attorney, which is actually really important. He appreciates the power the federal government brings, has experience in national security space, in the intelligence space, and defense space. I mean, Christopher Wray was a white shoe law firm attorney and a federal prosecutor some of the time. So it's not like qualifications there exceeded what Kash Patel brings. Kash Patel is really qualified, and he's just he's a regular guy. I mean, like I've interacted with him a couple of times, and I think people have a misconception about really where he stands. He's a process guy, and he said that in the hearing. He wants to be fully transparent. He wants to restore the FBI to something where it is an objective force for good that is interested in protecting the American people against fraud and force, not in picking winners and losers.
Well, I mean, I think our expectations are going to be incredibly high now because we've seen the beginning of what can be. Maybe the FBI can be restored to where it was at one point, which was, a pretty highly respected law enforcement agency in the United States. Are we expecting too much, or do you think this will come to fruition?
I think the last couple of days heading into the weekend, I thought maybe we'll be able to nibble around the edges at most, but that was a pretty aggressive action taken, and I'm a lot more optimistic. And that's just the start. And personnel is policy. That's a huge move to make. I mean, the diversity move. I mean, they were painting the walls at the academy last week to hide how they had put diversity above rigorous obedience to the Constitution as a core value. So they're actually preparing for him to come in, and it's going to take a lot more than that. Removing intelligence collection, and also the fact that the FBI has evolved its national security mission. I mean, they're not going after terrorists. The new terrorist that they go after, as they define it, is an anti-government, anti-authority, violent extremist, which publicly available information, agave, that is defined by the FBI as someone with a perception of government overreach or negligence. That's it. So that's a significant swath of the American people, because the FBI is Skynet. I mean, Skynet came to the conclusion that the people were the problem because they could turn it off. The FBI came to the conclusion that the people who wanted to pare back its capabilities were the problem. So they just wrote the definition of domestic terrorism to be people who were small government conservatives.
Amazing. Well, it's time for change there and all through our government, and I can't wait. FBI whistleblower Steve Friend, host of the American Radicals podcast and author of the book True Blue, My Journey from Beat Cop to Suspended FBI Whistleblower. Your show airs on Rumble, right? And,
Rumble, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 10:30. It's rumble.com/AmAradPod, but you can always pick it up on iTunes and Spotify.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Good luck. Great stuff.
Yeah. We need people like him back.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Man. And apparently he would consider it under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
So
he makes an interesting point. You know, you've been advocating against, and now you want to be. That's what Kash Patel is facing right now.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because he said he was going to close down headquarters,
turn it into a museum, deep state museum.
Deep state museum, not just a museum.
Yeah. All right. You want to hear some great news? The abortion pill reversal treatment, which provides women with a second opportunity to choose, is bringing babies back to life. When you join forces with Preborn Ministries, you empower women to reverse the curse. See, what you might not be aware of is that even though Roe was overturned and abortion has been greatly restricted in many states, the abortion pill has just superseded the surgical procedure now. So now the abortion pill accounts for over 60% of all abortions performed. Preborn's network of clinics, though, they're on standby for women in their darkest hour, and they meet them with God's love and free services to help them choose life through ultrasounds and the abortion pill reversal protocol. Preborn has rescued over 300,000 babies' lives, and you can start the new year right by supporting life. One ultrasound is just $28, and $140 will help to rescue 5 babies. So if you can help us, just dial pound 250, say the keyword baby, that's pound 250, keyword baby, or you could donate securely at preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So, speaking of preborn, an arrest warrant has been issued for a New York doctor indicted on Friday by a Louisiana grand jury. Why? For allegedly prescribing abortion pills online to a pregnant minor in the deep south state of Louisiana, which has one of the strictest near-total abortion bans in the country. Grand jurors at the district court for the parish of West Baton Rouge unanimously issued an indictment against Dr. Margaret Carpenter, her company, Nightingale Medical, PC, and the minor's mother. All 3 were charged with criminal abortion by means of abortion-inducing drugs. So he lives in
New York,
right? And prescribed a person in Louisiana the abortion pill.
That's going to be an interesting test case. This thing's going to end up in the Supreme Court. I
imagine, yeah.
Multiple states involved, hot button issue.
Right.
We're going to test. Test that one.
Yeah, and it's what the left is all about. This is the altar at which they worship. They worship at the altar of abortion. It's something they love and cherish and fight for harder than anything else on this planet.
Yep.
It's amazing.
So I'm just wondering where, if you're in Louisiana, where's the closest place? Wow, you got Y'all better pack up the car if you want to terminate that pregnancy, because you got to get to Illinois.
That's the closest?
This is the...
wow.
So this is...
Holy cow.
Let's see. So the most restrictive policies are the states in orange.
Oh, okay.
And
including Texas.
Yeah, so you're in Louisiana, you can get up to Illinois. They can help you out a little bit. So if you're a blue state on here, greater access to abortion. Look at Vermont, Maryland, and Oregon, dark blue. I love how this, you got to love that. Most protective of abortion rights. But boy, Deep South.
Wow. Yeah, look at that.
Nope,
Look
not
at that.
here. You're not killing your baby. Did you see the Volodymyr Zelenskyy whining that he doesn't know where over $100 billion now? So I guess the Biden administration promised $177 billion.
Okay.
And then they only received $75 billion. And he's saying, where's the other $102 billion? And I don't think this is he's mad at Trump or what have you. I think, because my suggestion was, well, give me your PIN number and I'll show you where that money is in your bank account, Volod. But this sounds like it's ended up with the Democrat Party or something like that. Like it never got out of the Biden administration, or it did, but it didn't end up going to Ukraine. Boy, is that not what we've said for 3 years?
Yeah.
3 years, money laundering.
Yes.
Boom.
Yep. Exactly.
Exactly what we've been saying for 3 freaking years.
Wow.
So,
and he's
Volod.
admitting that $102 billion is missing?
He wants to know where it is. Well, so do we. And I've got news for you. They were spent on ads for Kamala Harris.
Wow.
In my humble opinion.
Or they're in Joe Biden's bank account.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hunter, yeah.
They're not getting to Navy, that's for sure.
Oh, that's crazy. Wow.
Those funds.
This is from Josh Hammer at Newsweek. And anything positive in Newsweek that is even right-leaning, or you can see the right from where they are, is pretty amazing. But he wrote this article that Trump is emphatically correct about birthright citizenship. Less than 2 weeks into his presidency, the fear-mongering has already reached a fever pitch, Josh writes. He can't do it! The critics have invariably howled in decrying President Donald Trump's landmark Day 1 executive order, upending the status quo on birthright citizenship for the children of illegal aliens, protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. You know, so they try to make it out like the 14th Amendment was meant for illegals to come here, give birth, and then that baby is now a U.S. citizen. That's not the intent of the 14th Amendment. The citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment, which was ratified in 1868, reads, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So that's an important statement right there. Subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Not subject to Mexico or Guatemala or Honduras. They're citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. So the purpose was to overturn the 1857 Supreme Court case Dred Scott and ensure that blacks were and would forever be full-fledged citizens. That's what it was about. It was not about coming here illegally, having a baby, and then becoming citizens as a result. Because you got the anchor baby there, so now your entire family must be allowed to live here in the United States of America. That's clearly not what the 14th Amendment is about. And it's even mentioned in Newsweek. Incredible.
And they're admitting it.
Yes. Yes.
I've never heard it explained like that, but that's awesome.
It is.
That's actually very good.
Really good. The ruinous slavery debate aside, he writes, in 1868, blacks were thus universally viewed, unlike, for example, American Indians, as subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Congress didn't pass the Indian Citizenship Act, which finally granted birthright citizenship to American Indians until 1924. Jeez. Our debate today depends on whether in 1868 aliens, legal or illegal, were considered subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. They weren't at the time. They were not. And that's what all of this pivots on. And so whenever you hear, well, what about the 14th Amendment? Well, the 14th Amendment. Now you can tell people that's not what the 14th Amendment does. The 14th Amendment was to ensure blacks were U.S. citizens. Because as a result of Dred Scott, they were being denied citizenship. So this fixed that. It wasn't intended to be like anybody can come. All y'all come free, give birth, stay here forever. You and your entire family, your cousins, your uncles, your distant relatives, second cousins twice removed. People you just met on the street, they can all come in. No, that has to end. And so fortunately now it is. And it's just one of the many things that Trump did on day one that are really powerful and really important to the future of the United States of America. All right, so we've got overtime coming up.
Oh, we got a lot.
Get into that, got a lot.
Oh, by the way, the Palisades and Eaton fires in Los Angeles, 100% contained.
100%. Oh, nice. But they're not completely doused? Are they not out completely, or they're just contained? Because contained isn't the same as out.
No
right?
follow-ups, Pat.
Okay.
I said they're contained. What do you want?
Okay, that's what I want.
What more do
It's
you
a good
want?
start. It's a good start. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.